your mark. Set.
If you smile at me, I will understand. 'Cause that is something everybody everywhere does in the same.
So, the way I came up with this screenplay was I took inspiration off of the story of my grandfather, because he, for years now, as long as I've been alive, he's been running senior track and field, and he's actually set a couple of world records in some of the events that he's been in. But recently he had a major health scare, which set him back, and it really had us worried for a while. But I mean, as of now, he's still doing track, and he's worked his way back into doing those events and doing what he loves. And I just think that's a really cool story of perseverance, and especially when it seems like all the odds are stacked against you at that point. That's mainly where this story comes from, is my relationship with my grandpa and his experience and his story.
Austin, he showed up one day, didn't he?
He did show up. He showed up. There was one day, on the very first day we were shooting, he showed up, and he got to meet our actor who was playing the character that was based off of him, and he got to meet the rest of the crew. He got to see some shots go down behind the scenes. So I think it's easy to forget how foreign it is, what we do, for a lot of people. So getting to bring him on set and just show him what we're doing, that was a really cool moment for me.
So I was left without a project. So first day, Capstone 1, I had to get assigned to a new project, and it just happened to be Wyatt's film, Keeping Pace. And yeah, I was pretty happy to be assigned to that. I was the same producer I was going to be with on the other film, Peyton. So it all worked out, I think.
We didn't have the 16 weeks of development where we typically take a script, refine that, really figure out the story, and then begin to gather resources. So in this case, we were given it, or I got it in production. So we had 16 weeks to take it from any script changes that need to be made all the way to shooting it. It was a little bit more difficult, but we had a very tight-knit crew that were on top of it, and Wyatt had a really, really good idea of what he was trying to say. So the script was near final when we did get it.
Literally on the first day of class, the professor pulls me aside, and they introduced me to you, my DP, and my producer Peyton, and Tanner, my editor. And they're like, "Hey, here's your team." I'm like, "Okay," and they were both great. And it was something that was one of our major issues actually going into production, was we couldn't find any actors that were within our characters' age range.
It was tough. Not only were we needing 2 older actors, but we were asking our male older actor to also be very athletic, which is tough. We needed him to run a lot for really 3 days on set, and even though this was in casting for about 6 weeks, it came down to the final 2 weeks when we were actually able to get our actors.
Man, I would say just like that whole pickup shoot was like really, it was like rough, but like, you know, we got it done. I would say that was my favorite moment. My favorite moment from the set would be us running with Gary on the track on that pickup shoot, because that was just like the most, you know, run and gun thing I've ever done, like for film and everything.
So we MacGyver the thing. We have our DP running around with the camera on his shoulder, like following our actor just jogging around the track. Our producer's holding a light and like spotlighting him the whole way. And I mean, all of us, it was just like a circus. We were running around like, and afterwards we were watching it. We're like, oh God, how are we gonna make this work? But we made it work. It looks great.
We had a really, really unique scene in there where at one point I think we had the entire crew running with the camera, and it was the last thing we did before we called it a wrap. And to have everyone just laughing and exhausted and happy to be done, but also happy to be there was a really, really cool moment. I don't think I'll forget that.
I'm someone who likes to get involved with every aspect of the production, almost to a fault. So I had my first AD like, hey, you got to go back and work with the actors, Wyatt. Like, remember, they're here for you. So, which was good.
Yeah, we definitely made a couple mistakes along the way that I had to, make some technical changes to fix and everything, like the wrong frame rate or the audio not matching up, or stuff like that, like the aspect ratio and having to change that manually and everything.
Peyton was really good about getting everything planned and sorted out and reaching out to all the people we needed to, and like that was a saving grace for me because I'm not the best at that. So somehow, by the skin of our teeth, managed to create a really great film like this. I'm super proud with how everything has gone.
It's been a really cool process working with the VFX people, the colorists, and the sound designers, and getting a trailer done and everything. It's just a really cool, trying to do all those things at once and having a lot more input coming in from different places. It's just really cool to have my groundwork go towards a bunch of different people and see what they do with it.
A year and a half of work, and we're now just starting the marketing and distribution, so we don't know where this film could go and what it could do, but just starting the process of looking at festivals and budgeting, reaching back out to our actors, getting the poster and the websites out. It's very exciting, so I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it. That's all I can say.